get your cup of true tea as we spill it one cup at a time.
All right, it's time to start spilling the tea one cup at a time. Wow, exciting day.
Look at city side today. Isn't this wonderful?
Absolutely.
You see us behind the bar? Raven is in the club tonight.
I love it. I'm Tyler Butler, host of True Tea.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
I
just got all excited here. I love city side, so I just got a little carried away here.
Absolutely.
This is my future wife on this side.
Who is that?
Yeah, yes.
I'm Grandma Pearl, and I'm not putting out to you, though.
Oh, girl.
And look who's back at the table.
Hi, it's JC Ray.
JC Ray. All right. And a special guest.
Galaxy Miss Tampa Pride 2022.
Absolutely. So let's get started because we've got a whole table full of hot topics here today. But obviously, we've got to start with one of the saddest things that, not to bring the table down, that's happened and devastation and here in Tampa Bay. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Right, about Tiffany Middlesexx passed away. We got the phone call yesterday morning that she had passed on. Yeah. And a true legend has now left us here. Talk about memories of Tiffany, okay? She was parked in front of my house at Christmas this year, and she said how beautiful my lights were, and I go, well, where are you at? She goes, I'm in front of your house. So, of course, I invited her in. She didn't drink anymore, so we had eggnog together during Christmas. That's just the way Tiffany was.
Yeah, I think I met Tiffany back in at the Carousel Club. Do you remember the Carousel Club?
I'm not that old.
Yeah,
you might be.
So Tiffany actually was, I think, 73 years old from what I read, but in drag years she was probably like 43. But so she had a long life,
yes,
and from what we understand, she did pass away a peaceful way. She passed away in her sleep. So obviously that's probably the best way to go if you're going to go. She was just one of those people that no matter who you were, she always spoke to you, and she always had a big spirit about her. And Galaxy, you were really great friends with Tiffany. Talk a little bit about your memories.
I would just have to say that many of the great things that people said about Tiffany Middlesexx is very much the truth. Like I've said before, you could know a person for 20 years, but do you really know that person? Within the short amount of time, Tiffany showed me who she was. And that was my true friend. Tiffany, I heard about maybe 11 years ago before I really got my start into drag. And there was many names that were named as far as people that looked like me, people of color. They said, you want to do drag? You need to meet people like Tiffany Middlesexx, Divinity Everlasting, Desiree DeMornay. And Tiffany was one of the last people, if not the last person on that list that I met. And she pushed me. We talked on the phone every day. We, for a certain amount of time, we talked on the phone every day. She was one of the ones that called me and congratulations to you.
Yes.
You know, Tiffany loved to sing and rhyme. She was a ball of joy and such an inspiration. And she will keep inspiring me to push to be the best that I can be.
Absolutely. And big friend to our show. I have a little clip we're going to run right now. So take a peek at this the last time we spoke to Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. So obviously we've got to talk about some pageant stuff that we hear you might know something about. So tell me a little bit about your history in the pageant world. And you were, I think, Miss Florida, 1980. Wow. So you know a lot about pageants, and today we're obviously talking about pageants and mistakes and that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit about your history in the pageant world.
Well, I was never a big pageant girl. I did pageants more as an advance in my career. I wasn't what you call a pageant girl, but, you know, when I first started, I entered some pageants, you know, because you win a pageant, that kind of advances your career. And when I won Miss Florida, of course, that was the epitome, and that was real cool. But I also won Miss Orlando, some pageants up there when I lived in Detroit and in Toledo, my hometown. I was Miss Toledo and Miss Ohio. So I've got a one or two under my belt.
So I've got to ask you, during your history with the pageant world, do you ever remember there being a time of a mistake happening? Maybe a judge got a judge had turned in their numbers and they didn't actually write down the person who won, or was there a mistake ever in the pageant world ever?
Yeah, I can think of one.
Okay. And
I made it was me.
Oh, it was sure.
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed. It was during the Miss, what is it? It's right here in Tampa, Miss Heart of Florida, the first year that I judged. You know, I was a little slow back then, and somehow I got a couple of contestants' scores mixed up, but I straightened it out. It all got straightened out.
So, great memories. Obviously, we have so many memories. A big supporter of our show, and we loved having her on. In fact, one of the last places that she performed, you were at, right?
Well, yeah. I think also one of her last, I would say, live telephone interviews was actually done on this show.
Yeah.
And I was a part of that show, and I remember that. And so that's how I was introduced to Tiffani Middlesexx, and actually never actually physically interacted with her, but you know, being on the show with her that day with the phone. And then I got stood up one night, and I was at Bradley's, and this is when I saw her, which I believe was her last live performance, and I thought, oh my God, it's Tiffani Middlesexx.
So we're obviously all going to miss her. And I think we have somebody that's going to come on that's going to tell us a little bit about when the arrangements are going to be for the, are they having a celebration of life, or what are they actually doing? What's your name?
My name is Jonathan Hill. I was a great friend of Miss Tiffani Middlesexx. Met her back in 1991. Became a real close friend that last year, and I was with her every day, almost 2 weeks, and I was with her the day before she was called home. The memorial will be held for her at Metropolitan Community Church on Cayuga, and it will be held at 12 noon, which is next Friday on January the 21st, 12 noon. So for all of you all who love Tiffany, we would love to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing it. All right, so we have one more person that we're going to do a call-in that wasn't able to be on the show today, but we're actually going to speak to her a little bit. On the show is Esme Russell. Hi, Esme. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. So we were just speaking about, obviously, the passing of Tiffani Middlesexx and how sad and devastated our community is, and I know that you are so incredibly close to Tiffany. How are you holding up, darling?
So if it wasn't for my friends and my family, I probably would be in a worse, situation than I am. But I'm very depressed. Obviously, I'm depressed. It's a loss of a parent. She was in my life for in June. It would have been 46 years.
Wow.
46 so years. When you have somebody in your life for 40-something years, that's a long time. And she really was like a mother figure to me. I mean, she was the person that put me in drag. I mean, that's a whole story in and of itself, how I ended up being a drag queen. But, she was really, she was instrumental in shaping my career. She gave me my first job at Renee's, my first break, really, in the business. She was the person that announced me as Miss Florida the night that I won. She was there when I won my first pageant, Miss Renee's. She was the MC. I mean, she's been like there through my whole career. So, and even all through my life, I could always go to her like a mother. During the pandemic when I was out of work, she was giving me money out of her own pocket to help me financially.
Wow.
And I mean, she's that kind of a person, She bought me food when I didn't have food to eat during the pandemic when I was out of work. And I can't forget those kind of things, that kind of friendship, that kind of love, I lost a mother. I lost a mother. I lost my mother. I definitely lost I feel the loss as if I lost a parent.
Anybody that came in contact with Tiffany, I mean, she was always open arms and so welcoming and really helped so many people and was a big outspoken person in our community. I mean, really one of the first for me, and probably one of the first drag queens I ever met.
She was a poet. She was a dancer. She was a choreographer. She was a pantomime artist. She was a seamstress. I mean,
and
Tiffany
don't forget, she was a Christian too. She was close to God, and she was a very big Christian.
Her faith. Yeah. And that's how the pastor found her. Pastor Jacob found her when they went inside the house. She was laying in her bed. He said it looked like she had fallen asleep. She was in her pajamas, laying in her bed, with her dog at the foot of the bed, waiting for her to wake up. He said it looked like if he shook her, she would have just woken up. And so he was able to do last rites right in her bed before they took the body away. So she died in a dignified way. She didn't die suffering in a hospital, which would have been horrible for all of us. You know, her children and her grandchildren, her great grandchildren. We wouldn't have wanted to see her suffer. So she died a very peaceful and quiet death.
Well, thank you so much, Esme, and you have a great day. And if you need anything, please give us a ring. So listen, on that note, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We got some information on the latest and breaking information on the case of the Jason Gelhaus and Michael Wachholtz case that happened over 18 years ago. Who would have ever thought it's been this long? So stay right there. We're going to come right back. We're actually going to talk to Pam, Jason's mother, and we're going to do that when we come back. So stay right there.
Gretchen's Goodies, providing cheesecakes, pies, and cakes in a cup using only the finest ingredients and all made from scratch. With over 25 delectable flavors to choose from, including amazing homemade crust, you'll be sure to find your sweet spot.
Come see me at Gretchen's Goodies, located inside Zoom Zoom at 10039 Gibsonton Drive in Riverview.
Welcome back to Cityside. Under new management, new owners.
Yeah.
Fabulous people are still here yet. And every day at Cityside, it's happy hour until 9 p.m. And today we have Raven behind the bar again, my favorite. And don't forget, now on Thursday nights, they have brought back line dancing.
Oh,
Yay! Cowboys and boots and all that fun stuff. Yay, Cityside.
Ride a cowboy.
And as long as we don't talk about tonight is John Desmond's birthday, everybody. Your daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Birthday night. And he'll be partying himself off in Ybor City tonight. So happy birthday, John Desmond. It's the big 7-0 for John this week.
Wow.
As long as I got the mic in my... I love big black things in my face, by the way. Anyway. As long as I got this with my can hold it all the way down. All right. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's a torpedo.
New at the show bar in Ybor City on Sunday, fun days on every Sunday. We're now having all you can drink for $30 mimosas and Bloody Marys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pearl, since we're the bookends, can you imagine these two handling a big black rod that big together?
Oh, honey, it scares me. It scares me.
I bet they'd be a real hit on pay-per-view.
Grandma, what have you been up to, by the way?
Oh, I've been working.
Yeah?
Matter of fact, Saturday night I'm going to be down in Fort Myers at Eden's. And last week I worked at Cocktails.
I heard about that. I heard that was
did.
fabulous. A
She
cocktail.
looked
Was Earl there, by the way?
No, Earl.
Oh.
No, he had a little accident.
An accident.
What happened
Yeah,
to
just a
Earl?
little bit.
happened
Well,
to
we were leaving the house, and he said, "How do I shut off this fan?" I said, "You grab the blades." Oh, he did. We went to the hospital because it cut his fingers off. He
That's
did tell
horrible.
me. He did tell me a joke though.
Oh my God. Okay. That's your joke.
Now, I don't know if this is proper.
Oh.
He said to me, "What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?" Okay, it's a sponge joke. You're gonna have to think about this.
Now, before we get to our phone call here, on a lighter note as well, you saw Earl though. Earl was at show.
I saw Earl at show bar with a man, an Asian man at that, arms around him and kissing on him, and I took photos just so you know.
Well, you know that's grounds for divorce. The best thing that could ever happen to me.
So does that mean can I be the backup plan?
I'd have to see your financial portfolios. I don't go out with anybody.
Okay, Grandma Pearl.
I must say that I surprised Grandma Pearl and I saw her at Cocktails and she looked amazing. And Cocktails loved her. And I have to tell you, you know where I found her? I found her in the waiting line to the men's room.
Yeah.
No.
She was looking for her next Social Security check.
That's it.
I said, "Grandma, this is the wrong line."
But we got a raise. What was it? 3.5% raise in my Social Security.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
That was like $1 more a month.
Yeah.
Leave it to Grandma to go to the Social Security line and end up in the men's line.
So, on a different line,
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are in the news, as well as the most important to be in the news for the gay community. Over 18 years ago, Tampa experienced one of the biggest crimes in history.
And here's the latest on the case.
Grieving mother waiting almost 2 decades for justice is concerned she may not get what she wants.
Stephen Lorenzo has yet to be tried for the gruesome murders of 2 men in 2003. Prosecutors say Lorenzo and his partner would stalk victims at gay nightclubs in Tampa, then drug, torture, rape, and kill them. Justin Shecker joins us live outside the Hillsborough County Courthouse in Tampa with more on this story. Justin.
And Jen and Keith, Stephen Lorenzo is already serving a 200-year prison sentence for federal drug crimes. The mother of one of the men he's accused of murdering says he belongs on death row. The horrific murders of Jason Galehouse and Michael Wachholtz 18 years ago still haunt Tampa's gay community.
Absolutely. I mean, it still makes you kind of think when you go out, you know, who's sitting beside you? Who is that other person?
On back-to-back nights in 2003, both men vanished after visiting the same Tampa nightclub. Prosecutors say Stephen Lorenzo and his partner Scott Schweikert plotted together to drug, torture, and murder them at Lorenzo's home in Seminole Heights.
And I miss, you know, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday, Mom, Merry Christmas, Mom.
Schweikert took a plea deal in 2016 in exchange for life in prison. But Lorenzo has yet to stand trial for the premeditated murder of Pam Williams' only son.
I'm sick and tired of him getting his way.
On Thursday, prosecutors called Williams and her son's friend Tyler Butler to update them on preparations for Lorenzo's trial that's finally set to begin this spring. The prosecutors told them
That if one out of the jury, the 12, finds him not guilty, he won't get the death penalty. I do not like that. I told him flat out, I want the death penalty. And they said they understood, but it just all depends. And I'm sorry, I think the justice system stinks.
Lorenzo is representing himself. State Attorney Andrew Warren says he's rejecting his offer to stay off death row. Is your office still seeking the death penalty in this case?
Stephen Lorenzo committed 2 shockingly horrific murders for which he deserves the death penalty. His request that we allow him to plead no contest and not take responsibility for his crimes is absurd and not worth the paper it was written on.
After all these years,
You never get over it.
but the wait for justice may soon finally be over in 2 of Tampa's most heinous murders.
It's aggravating. I would have never have thought 18 years we're still asking for justice. 18 years.
Every time I hear about this story, my stomach just turns because it's you know close because you were very good friends with him, but it's also close because it's our community and it's things like this that really are real issues. They're still happening in so many parts of our community. So let's hear what we have to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, I'm more frustrated the fact that it's been 18 years and these guys are still not been tried and convicted of murder and, you know, for what they did to their victims and the things that's happened. I can't believe it's been 18 years and we're still talking about this and we're still...
Do you think that if he instead of killing 2 gay guys, he killed straight women, that would still be this bad right now?
I think I can answer this. Carly Brucey, who was a child, but Carly Brucey, her killer was sentenced within the same year that she was murdered. I mean, we're 18 years down the road, and we're still dealing with a possible death sentence or not. I mean, that's looming, and we're going to talk to Pam a little bit about that. We spoke to prosecutors on Thursday morning. We spoke to prosecutors on the phone that were trying to basically ask myself and his mother, as well as Michael Wachholtz's mother, if we felt that a death sentence should be something that we wanted or would be a plea bargain. And Pam's on the phone, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that. But yeah.
I just want to say something really quick about that situation. Before we just address the actual situation itself, when you said names, to be completely honest, because you know I'm of the younger generation, I had no idea who those names were. I've always heard that story. And as soon as you started describing it, all the pieces put together in my head. I knew where, when.
It's the names
that's
of
a
the
story
people that should never be forgotten.
That's
those are
exactly.
the actual victims.
Exactly.
And so yeah,
this
I
is
mean
something
definitely.
serious. Thank
Yeah.
you for this.
All right, so I have Pam. Pam, I know this is really tough for you, especially with what's happened to you lately, which I'd like to ask you a little bit about. I know that you, so Jason's mother, Pam, is on the phone. Jason was one of the first victims that actually on the case that was left the nightclub of 2606. And she actually just got some information not only from the detectives but from her doctor. So time is extremely crucial for some of the things that we're having to deal with. Her health is not well. Pam, thanks for joining us here today.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit first of all. How are you? I know you've been dealing with cancer for the past, 10 years now. You dealt with breast cancer
13 years.
13 years ago, and then you were cancer-free, and then it came back. What is the latest on your health?
Well, I had it 13 years ago. Then I got it back in 17, and now it's back again, and that's it. So
Would you
it's a
say
lot of
some
lab
of the
work
stress?
right
Would
now.
you say some of the stress of what you've had to deal with your son's disappearance and dealing with the frustrations of what's happening with the case has caused stress on you that you think has caused a horrific thing about your health?
Of course, it's stress. Doesn't help.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the information that was given today by telephone by obviously the prosecutors of what's going on in the case. So they called today and asked us a little bit about our feelings on the death sentence and what was your statement about that?
I told them I don't care. I want the death penalty.
Right.
No uncertain terms. Death penalty.
And why is a death penalty so important to you versus pleading out the case, especially
Because
if they're
of what he has done to destroy my life? He destroyed my son's life, and he should not be living for what he did.
right? So he should suffer like your son was suffered as well as the other men.
Yes.
So
And to drag this out 18 years, especially.
yeah. I mean, from the very beginning of you and I kind of going out there and getting actually Mark and Carrie from MC Film Festival, from 18 years we've been dealing with this up and down and all around and hiring private detectives on the case. Ma'am, I mean,
Yeah, selling hot dogs and hamburgers.
yeah.
To raise money.
And what was the date that we got another date again? Because this case has been pushed back and pushed back. It goes to trial in April, if it goes to trial?
Yes. If nothing else falls back.
And when do they make a decision if they are going to take on a trial versus a plea bargain?
Supposedly April, middle of April.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, we try to always, every week, update everyone of what's going on with the case. Thank you so much. And you take care, and you call me if you need anything, Pam.
Okay.
Thank you.
We all love you, Pam. So,
bye.
Bye.
Can I ask a couple questions? I want to know, just so the viewers also know, and also, I want to, devil's advocate or give a different perspective on the situation. Are the people that were, I guess at this point were probably being alleged killers and things like that because nobody's been convicted yet. Have they been free this whole 18 years?
No. So there were two guys that were tied to the scene by DNA evidence, Scott Schweikert and Stephen Lorenzo.
Okay.
Stephen Lorenzo actually was someone that we knew in the gay community. We all knew him. Yep. You knew him. I knew him. A lot of the bartenders knew him. A couple of the entertainers, drag queens knew him. They all liked him. I always thought he was the weirdo in the back of the bar staring at people, but that's I always just kind of sense that.
So those are the two individuals. And the other thing that I wanted to.
They're both in jail.
Okay, good. They are
99
good.
years,
Good.
I think,
Yeah.
and the other one got a.
So the thing that I want to bring up, and I'm not bringing this up, but I'm to discredit or to be disrespectful to any side. But so when Pam, his mother, is saying she wants death, he doesn't. I get that he took her son's life. My question is, she suffered for 18 years on Earth, and her son's gone. Do we really give him the satisfaction of not living, or do we keep him incarcerated to a point where he's at a maximum security and has no freedom and has to live this nightmare, I guess, that he did?
And I
go
thought
with
that to try to instrumentally kind of speak to Pam about that and converse with her. And I thought that, and I also thought, why should we keep someone living that and paying our tax dollars, and keeping someone like this living? Chances are, even if he gets the death penalty, he's going to die in jail waiting to get the death penalty. I mean, it just isn't really ever work out.
It's a security thing to know that he's not going to get out.
My
What's the
thing
plea deal here?
my thing is, versus the plea deal, if they do the plea deal, the trial will be very short-lived. The community will not be really told exactly about a lot of things that should be brought out. Going to trial, they're going to talk about the 55 boxes of evidence that they had that conclude that 7 other men in the gay community they can pinpoint to being at Lorenzo's house. DNA evidence concludes so many different. None of that will come out.
Thank you for answering those.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up, and I think it gave the viewers more information that maybe they didn't know.
Oh.
If you're having a cocktail, you take it with you. Several years ago, and I'm not going to mention which bar I was performing in, when I'm performing, I drink Coca-Cola. I drink a soda. I left my glass on the bar. I went to the ladies' room. I came back. I took the glass into my dressing room. Somebody put something in it. I got so sick. I didn't pass out, but I stumbled. I fell while doing a number. I came back. I was outside, and I had one more number to do, and I could not keep anything in my stomach. And I said, okay, I got to do one more number. It's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I got to stop throwing up because I got to do this number. Take your glass with you anywhere.
I remember that.
They thought I was drunk. I wasn't drunk. I don't drink when I perform. I don't need to because I don't, God. But take your glass with you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for being here on the panel today.
Thank you.
I've had so much fun being back.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you. And thank you so much for joining us. I know you're kind of nervous on camera.
I love the shade of your lipstick on that white glass.
Isn't it great?
I know you've been here, and with your Tiffany blue and nails. Girl, you are rocking it today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good to see you
And
again.
thank you guys for watching and getting awareness out there to the community, which is the most important. That's the end of a segment. We're going to see everybody next week when we're spilling the tea, one cup
at a time.
Bye-bye, everybody.
This has been an Out and About media production and made possible by our community partners of TampaBayGay.com, Tampa Bay's LGBT gay-friendly business directory, and Dishing with Mark and Carrie, Tampa Bay's LGBT news blog.